correspondent in Rome, Seema Gupta. Seema, how historic is this decision from Pope Francis to change these Vatican secrecy laws?
Well, it's quite a massive change. I mean, Pope Francis, by the way, also turns 83 today, and he's given a present to those that have been fighting the issue of child sexual abuse in the Catholic Church with this move. It's opened the door really to greater cooperation between the Vatican and the civil authorities that are investigating these cases of child sexual abuse. They are no longer protected by this pontifical secrecy. Now, to give you an idea, Mary Collins, now she's a prominent Irish abuse survivor. She said this move, she called it excellent news, tweeting that at last a real and positive change. The Vatican editorial director, Andrea Tornelli, referring to this in a statement that was released, saying that it was an historical move, a sign of openness and transparency. And really, it's the first real concrete step that we're seeing since that landmark conference that was held at the Vatican back in February, in which the Pope invited the bishops from all around the world to discuss this particular issue. Now, it's still not mandatory for priests or the bishops to report the issues to the police, but if a request is made by the civil authorities for investigations, for the canonical trials, to find out more information, the documents that are in the Vatican, they have no choice now. They have to respond. And even the priests in the past who were forced to keep silent because of this law, now they can speak to the authorities.
I want to talk about another change that Francis made today, and that's on the age considered child pornography by the Vatican. I mean, the fact that, according to the Vatican, the age was 14 before is pretty shocking. What's the reaction been to the change, making it now 18 years old?
Well, overall, the reaction to all these amendments to the canonical laws and this move that the Pope has made has been very much well received by those that are investigating these crimes within the Catholic Church. He's raised the cutoff age. So now the Vatican considers child pornography no longer just that below the age of 14. It's now below the age of 18. So they will be looking at those cases and looking at this issue within the church. But also, as I mentioned, it's now open to those civil authorities. It's interesting that these amendments come at this time. Of course, this follows all the stories of scandals that have hit the Catholic Church on this issue. We've seen denunciations from the United Nations as well as global investigations. What's also interesting to mention is that today as well, the Pope has accepted the resignation of the Vatican ambassador to France, Luigi Ventura. Now, he was accused of unwanted sexual advances to men, particularly a case that happened in Paris, and then there was other accusations being leveled against him. Now, he turned 75 last week, and so technically had to retire, but it's up to the Pope, the discretion of the Pope, to accept that resignation, and he has accepted it. The announcement of which coming today, the same day that he made these comments and made this decision to remove the pontifical secrecy on the issue of abuse. So clearly the Pope taking these issues very seriously, as he has promised to, and making these very groundbreaking statements as far as the church is concerned on this day, his birthday.
France 24, Seema Gupta in Rome, bringing us that historic decision from the Vatican as it ripples across the Catholic world.